Hi guys, my name is Ashley, and today I'm going to be taking you on a tour of 5 campsites we visited on our recent trip to Iceland. Now, despite the fact that we went during the springtime, the campgrounds were operating on winter-based schedules, meaning not a lot of them were open. This was our experience.
Welcome to Selfoss campsite in Iceland. Tonight is night 1 out of 9 or 10 nights here in Iceland. We're doing Ring Road in a camper van. It is April, it is cold, and it is snowy, but it's lovely.
Selfoss campsite is located just south of Reykjavik and slightly west of the Golden Circle. After touring the Golden Circle for the day, this was an easy spot to get to and set up just in time for dinner. Registration for 2 adults staying 1 night cost us 3,500 krona plus 600 krona for the optional jacuzzi access.
I wanted to make this video because before coming here I was trying to figure out what campsites are open in the winter, and I couldn't find much information. The information I did find led me here, but I'm hoping this video can help people that are planning to travel during the winter months around Ring Road camping.
Icelandic law now specifies that you must camp at a designated campsite and not just anywhere on the side of the road, so definitely keep that in mind when planning and budgeting for your adventure, no matter the season. The good news is camping at legitimate campsites grants you access to the perks of the facilities.
Washer and dryer. Such a nice perk, especially when you're camping. These are the restrooms. No one's in here, I checked. Pretty simple. 2 toilets. Bigger one, I've been using this to just change in because it has a little bit more room. And then there's 3 showers. That's my stuff in the corner. I'm getting ready to take a shower. You know, simple, straightforward. It's very clean in here, so that's it. Those are the bathrooms. Okay, so just got out of the shower, super warm, free, which I hear is kind of rare for campgrounds. Usually they charge for showers. I don't know, this is my first campground that I've been at around here, but it was warm and efficient, so that was satisfying. I just want to point out 2 things before I forgot. There is a bonus about, I think, a minute away. We had to grab some last minute sugar and we found it there, no problem. And also there's a local pool, and the pools here are famous in Iceland. A lot of Icelanders go there just to hang out and enjoy a nice dip in the cold weather. That's also like a minute away if you want to go there. And just before I walk out of here, this is the kitchen area, so plenty of seating, a little couch in the corner there, and some cooking options. You've got the stovetops over here and some sinks, so it's a nice little perk. A little messy in here right now. It looks like some people are drying off their clothes in the corner, but I'm not going to complain.
Overall, this campsite was great. We were allowed to park wherever we wanted, so most campers were close to the bathroom facilities. The staff was friendly and the property was well maintained. No spectacular views, but the convenience of being near a pool and a grocery store couldn't be beat. Good evening. Tonight is night 2, camping around Iceland along Ring Road. We are heading southeast along Ring Road, and I cannot pronounce the town name or the campground, so I'll just throw that in here. We arrived at the campground a little bit after 5. We've been ice climbing all day, which was amazing. But because we arrived late, there was no check-in, we had nobody to give money to for the campsite, and the showers are closed for the evening. Other than that, there's a little kitchen and some bathrooms, so everything that we need to just tuck in for the night, and we'll settle everything else in the morning. Before I wrapped up for the evening, though, I had to take a walk around the gorgeous property. There were 2 major waterfalls right in our backyard. While a lot of bus tours stop here during the day, after sunset you'll have the place to yourself. Not to mention, once the night sky is in view, you might even be lucky enough to catch a stunning display of the northern lights.
Good morning. So we woke up to discover that the campground is actually just closed.
Well, maybe not fully closed, but I'd say limited down to the bare necessities and no staff. It's no surprise that we missed this tiny sign inside the main building when we arrived the night before, pointing us to their winter policies and booking info. This campground costs 1,500 krona per adult and must be paid online if you were traveling anytime other than the summer. The bathrooms were open all night, as was the kitchen, and there was also a washing machine available for 300 krona. And as for the showers,
there are no showers available for winter campers. They're closed for the season, But if you're here during the summer, it does cost 300 krona per 3 minutes. So figure out how to shower really quick. Other than that, we have to pay online for our spot tonight, or for last night, so we'll take care of that on our way out. But just want to follow up that the facilities here are not completely open during the winter, but you can still camp here in a pinch.
And one more shout out for this waterfall. It was a personal favorite of mine, and if you've got the right clothing for it, you can crawl in and get a truly up-close view. If you're looking for even more adventurous options, this is one of the touring companies here in Iceland. They run right out of this campground. This is actually the group that we went with, or the guide that we went with yesterday for ice climbing, except he met us at the glacier, not at this specific location. But if you book a tour with South Coast Adventure, you'll probably be coming here to start your journey. Even though we weren't able to enjoy the full amenities of this campsite, I still loved exploring the property and taking in all of the landscapes it had to offer. I'd recommend it for a one-night winter stay, but I'd be more inclined to suggest it for a summer stay instead. Good evening, it is about 8 o'clock and it is our third night camping in Iceland. We are now on the south shore of Iceland and we are in the national park with the largest glacier in Europe. We are camping at Skaftafell campsite and so far it's beautiful. I promise I'll run around with my camera in the morning and actually show off the campground, but it's getting kind of dark and I just want to check in with you guys. It was 3,500 krona for the two of us to camp here for one night. There are showers and restrooms walking distance from the camper van that we have, and that's it. We made a couple of friends already getting ready for dinner, so I'll check in with you in the morning. And I should say this, if you're camping here during the winter, you have to sign in at the visitor center, and that's right next door to the campground. Really super easy, and you get a little thing to put in your dashboard so they know that you have paid and that you can be here. So that's that. The best kind of exhaustion is the kind that hits after a day of gallivanting around Iceland. Our evening concluded with a quick barbecue, ramen, and some warm showers. The only trick was figuring out how to get back to the camper van.
Just to help you out in case you're camping in Iceland, it is very, very dark at most campgrounds at night. This is my walk. I have my headphones on. This is my walk back to our camper van. It's not far, but it is so incredibly dark around here. Okay. Ooh. My tip, bring a flashlight, bring a headlamp, bring a friend. It's so scary out here. I know there's nothing out here, but just walking in the dark alone is frightening enough. There we go. I can see it. Okay, good night.
The bright morning sun was more than we could have hoped for to kick off our day. Out of the 3 campgrounds so far, this was easily the cleanest and most organized. Each camper had their own spot, many with picnic tables available and electric hookup options. The surrounding mountains and distant glacier were captivating. The facilities were spotless and included a small dishwashing room with an extended countertop, a couple of shaded picnic tables, some outdoor sinks which were turned off for the season, and bathrooms. I think there are normally separated men's and women's bathrooms, but at the time of our visit only one side was open, so everyone shared the same space. That might be the case for the entire winter season. As for the showers, they were completely free, warm, and incredibly clean. This is honestly a campsite I wish we had more time at. We were camping in a national park with a glacier just a short walk away. We spent the morning exploring the area, but could have easily spent another few days there hiking and taking in many more sights. I would highly recommend a stop here to anyone traveling along Ring Road.
Night 4, middle of nowhere.
After a few hours spent traversing scenery that could only be compared to the North Pole, we arrived at our 4th campsite. It's worth noting that these campsites were not all visited back to back. We planned a few Airbnbs along our route, including one last night in the East Fjords. But this video is all about the campground, so let's get back to it. This campsite really was in the middle of nowhere. The town, I'm gonna call it a town,
featured a tiny church, a cafe, turf cottages, and the campground, which was completely snowed in. Despite this, upon check-in at the cafe, the man helping us told us we could park anywhere we wanted in the campground, but the bathrooms were closed for the season, so we'd have to use the bathrooms in his house on the other side of town. It was pretty confusing, and for about 10 minutes we tried to figure out where we could park in the campground before eventually giving up and asking if it would just be okay for us to park right outside of his house instead. He said yes. The house was a bit unusual itself, as I felt like all 8 of the people working in the town lived in that house, though there were signs inside for visitors directing them to the bathrooms and showers. I got the impression that this one building was also a hotel, but I'm still not sure. Fortunately, we were able to take showers and use their kitchen to cook our dinner that night. Even though we did not technically stay in the campground, I have to say that it looked like it would be an amazing place to camp in the summer. It was very well laid out and included picnic tables, a playground, and hiking trails. There was also some excitement being in such a remote location. We paid a little over 1,300 krona per person to stay one night, and I'd gladly spend that again for a summer trip. But for a winter trip, I would probably just book a turf cottage.
Alright, last night camping in Iceland, and we're here with nobody else. Not an owner in sight, not a farmer. There's a little house, there's a beautiful view, and from what I'm gathering, this is a great place for seal watching, although I haven't spotted one just yet. I don't know if it's the season for it, I guess not. Funny fact though, as I'm walking around, I read a sign that said 2 people were murdered here, so we're in the middle of nowhere in Iceland. Ghosts around, I'm sure. It's interesting. It's beautiful, but it's super quiet and a little eerie at the same time. So wish us luck, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
As we set up for dinner, I did try to find out where we could leave money for our stay, but I was met by a few blank stares. Is this where I pay? We prepped the last of the food we had with us.
We're roughing it. We're splitting one hot dog.
Are you at least toasting the bun?
Yeah.
Then we settled in for another evening under the northern lights. The next morning, we woke up early to explore the property, which included hanging out with the nearby horses, finally spotting a seal in the water, and enjoying the pure serenity of the location. This was easily one of the most memorable campsites we stayed at. The landscape itself offered much more than words could ever express.
Good morning. We survived the night, and I just wanted to show you the facilities now that we can actually see them. This is the wash house. It is mostly closed right now in April. Yeah, nothing's open except for one bathroom, and I'll show you that. They do ask for a donation for using the toilets. Yeah. There might be showers in here normally, I guess during the summer season, but right now we don't have anything except for this guy. Very simple. You can tell it's maintained though. There's a lot of toilet paper and the trash has been emptied. It's pretty clean, you know, campground wise. And this light was broken, so all night we were in and out with flashlights. But that's it, just to hold us over for the night. It was fine, and hopefully we will shower later on today. Also, they have this nice perk of the outdoor sinks, so if you have any big pots or pans in your camper, it's a good place to wash them out. And of course, this gorgeous view with a couple of picnic benches. I can really see this being a very nice spot during the summer. It's beautiful right now, but just not a lot open. So that's it. We're getting ready to hit the road and head to Reykjavik to conclude our adventure here in Iceland.
Camping in Iceland is absolutely the best experience you could have to explore and immerse yourself in the country. I recommend it for flexibility and just adventure. I know you're visiting this video because you're already considering it, so I hope you go through with it. And don't let the winter limitations deter you, because it really wasn't that terrible. We had some spectacular views and amazing campground experiences, and I hope I was able to articulate that in this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below and I'll try to answer them as best as I can based on our experience. And if you've gone already and you want to contribute some tips, feel free to do so. We're here to help each other have the best vacations possible. So thank you for tuning in.